PyCon UK 2019. So, I need to check how many people are here who were not here yesterday. Oh, quite a lot. Okay. So for those people who were here yesterday, I'm sorry, you're going to have to listen to me do the introductions again. It's a necessary part, but everybody needs to hear some of these things. So PyCon UK is a volunteer-run conference. Every single one of us on the team is an unpaid volunteer doing this because it's something they value doing. Yeah, thank you. After all these years as well. We have a team. Some of us are, most of us are here. Not everyone is, but we are. Oh, I'm not wearing my badge. We are all wearing red badges. Oh, never mind. I'm wearing a red badge. I'll put it on in a minute. But so that's your organizing committee for this conference. We're also assisted by a very large number of volunteers whom you'll see around the place, also wearing red badges and doing useful tasks. And you too can be a volunteer. In fact, we need some volunteers. So I'll talk about this in a minute, but the video team, Tim Williams and there's one of his helpers up there. We have also in our conference the STTRs who are providing the live speech-to-text transcription, Hillary and Wendy. So thank you. They work extremely hard for us every year, doing a fantastic job. We have a large number of sponsors. Once again, it's really important that we have commercial sponsors at PyCon UK because it makes the conference not just affordable each year, but also sustainable. It's part of what makes open source software possible, that there are commercial organizations willing to support it financially. So you'll see some of our sponsors. Please talk to them, say thank you for sponsoring, find out what they have to offer you as well as the conference as a whole. We couldn't possibly run the conference without them, or if we did, you'd be paying at least twice as much for your ticket. So they are subsidizing every single person here, and we're very grateful for their generosity. Please, thank you to our sponsors. It's an extremely important relationship. We'd like to thank the Cardiff City Hall staff who always help us make this event run smoothly every time. The AV services team, Enthusiasm Events, working early in the mornings and late at nights to get everything set up. Everybody who volunteers their time at the conference, including all the speakers and presenters and workshop leaders, they are giving their time to do this, and we're grateful to them because they are providing the content of the conference that people are here for. So when you come out of a talk or a workshop, take a moment just to make sure that the speaker or presenter receives your thanks, because that's pretty much all they're going to get in return for having done it, and it's a very valuable thing to receive. And thank you to all those people who are doing these things for us, and also want to thank the people who submitted proposals that weren't accepted, because we received far more than we could possibly accept, and there are many people who want to take part in this, and we're really grateful that they do. And thank you for being here, for being part of the conference, whatever you're doing, even if you're here just for the first time to see what it's like. Every single person who's present adds something to the event. I mentioned volunteers. We need some more camera operators. Do we need anything else, Tim, or is it just camera operators? And vision mixer people. Now, do they need special skills for that?
No, we teach them.
You'll be taught how to operate a vision mixer. So if you think you know how to point a camera in the right direction, like Q is up there, then please come and see Tim or Danny. Where's Danny? I don't see Danny, actually, but...
She's Django Girls.
Oh, she's in Django Girls today. Okay, so come and see one of the video team, and they will help you become one of them. Volunteers are also sought for the front desk, not for the whole time, just maybe to take a slot, a single talk, half an hour will be useful as well. Please see Gilles. He has a big beard and he's tall and he's standing by the front desk in his shorts probably, so you can speak to him. By the way, I should say generally about volunteers. The conference runs on volunteers. If you think that you have something that you might be able to contribute in any way, however small, to the running of the conference during the weekend itself, during the week itself, or as part of the organizers in the run-up to it over the previous 12 months, please come and talk to someone. We're always looking for new volunteers. Many people have skills that they can contribute, and it's often the people who want to contribute and aren't really sure how they can contribute who turn out to be the most valuable contributors, because we're able to give a lot back to the people who do contribute. People volunteer and then find themselves, to their surprise, 24 months later sometimes, doing things that they never imagined that they would be able to do. So if you join us, if you want to help us, we will find a way for you to do things that you find empowering and useful for other people. So have a think about that. You don't need to be somebody who's already organized things or knows how to run around or stand in front of an audience. We have a code of conduct. It's a statement of our values. It's on the website. Please read it. It's a statement of how we expect people to behave towards each other here. That is, with respect, courtesy, and kindness. If you have any concerns about something you've seen or something you've seen done or said, please report it as an issue. It's not the same thing as reporting a crime. It just means that you're concerned about something that has happened and you'd like to talk to someone about it. We have a confidential phone number, text message number, email address. You can speak to one of the organizers on the Slack channel or in person. We take it seriously. We have a documented procedure for handling it. It's not the end of the world when you report something. It's just a way of talking about something that bothers you, and we take everything very seriously. I know many people have been waiting for this part and like to hear me talk about this, because I have to stand here and talk about toilets to everybody every year, 4 days in a row. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, not everybody here considers themselves a lady or a gentleman. The toilets, on the other hand, are clearly marked ladies and gentlemen. But we have people here who are trans people, for example, and don't fit into the neat categories that are chiseled into the marble above the toilets. So, our policy is, please use whichever toilet you feel is appropriate for you and that you feel comfortable using. And please do not bother or question or interrupt or harass anybody who is using the toilets, even if you think that perhaps they don't look like the right kind of person to be using that particular toilet. If there are any questions about this, please come and see us. But above all, we want you to respect our attendees and respect the space and our policies and leave people in peace while they are using the toilets. And that's it. It's always worth reminding people that a question is a form of words in the interrogative that ends with a question mark. And it is not an opinion or a comment or a discussion or a reminder that the speaker has forgotten to mention something that they should have mentioned. It is your opportunity as a questioner to allow the speaker to show their brilliance one more time by telling the audience something that the speaker knows that you or the audience don't know. So we'd ask you, when you're asking your questions, to make sure that you ask them in the form of genuine questions. It's a nice way for the speaker to receive feedback after their talk. Of course, if you want to point out, say, well, you're not completely wrong, Perhaps you can do that in private. Well, actually, perhaps not do that at all. But if you have to say anything like that, don't do it in the moments when the speaker has finished their talk and is receiving questions from the audience, because that's not welcome. A good question will show how good and brilliant the speaker was, not how good and brilliant the questioner is, even though you may indeed be very good and brilliant. Badges. Yeah. Sorry, I rushed out of the office. So. Please make sure your badges are visible at all times. Okay, so it just helps us keep track of who's in the building. Your badges have lanyards, blue, yellow, and red. The blue lanyard means that you're happy to be photographed. The yellow one means that you'd prefer not to be photographed, so please, when you're taking photographs, take note of that and don't publish photographs of people with yellow lanyards if you find them in your photos. And people with red lanyards are members of the team, and they're all happy to be photographed. And of course, if you get a photograph with one of us with a red lanyard, then it's like being photographed with a very important person. We have a quiet room. So if you head out of the door here and go right to the other end, you'll find Cardiff City Council chamber where you can go to be quiet. And that's not to be quiet, to have a nice telephone conversation or a chat. It's literally to be quiet. The conference Wi-Fi is provided by the Cardiff Free Wi-Fi service. It's behaving pretty well so far this weekend, I think. Yeah. Slack. Now, everybody who got a ticket should have received a link to help them sign up on our Slack channel. I know a couple of people didn't, but come and speak to somebody at the help desk and we'll get you sorted out for that. The code of conduct applies there, as it applies everywhere throughout the conference. We do ask you to use a name on the Slack channel that somewhat more or less resembles what you go by during the conference in person and what you have on your badge, just so we know, people know who is speaking to whom. And we, the organizers, have little red pythons by our names. Don't use those unless you're an organizer, please. If you want to Twitter, then you can use PyCon UK and the hashtag PyCon UK. Lunch. Chloe's going to tell us about how lunch works, because there's some confusion about lunch still.
Right, so you've all got badges?
Yeah, I'll get mine.
Oh. Yeah, apart from Daniele, we've all got badges. And in this bottom corner, it says lunch sitting. Now, I've told the catering staff that how the lunch sittings works. Now, they're not going to just put out all the food at once. They'll put them out according to the sitting. So if you can stick to that, then everyone actually gets a choice rather than just carrot sticks when they turn up at their actual sitting and everyone's rushed through. There should be a vegetarian section either at one end of the table or on its own table, and there's a special table for the diets. So enjoy your food.
Thank you, Chloe. Owen's gone to get my badge. So what's happening today? First of all, please refer to the schedule. It's our single source of truth on the website for everything that's happening. Today, we have the Young Coders Day, and that's being run by the Raspberry Pi team in the Ferrier Hall, which is out that way. So how many young coders are in the audience right now here with us? Welcome, young people. I hope you have a lovely day. And we'll see you back here later in the day to find out what you've been doing. So welcome to PyCon UK, and you'll be heading off in a moment. Django Girls will be downstairs in the lower hall all day doing the Django Girls workshop. We have many people volunteering to help that, so thank you all. The UK Python Association. Now, this conference is run under the auspices of the UK Python Association, which is a registered charity. It's open to all. Everyone's welcome to come to our general meeting, which will be in here at 5 o'clock. And you'll hear more about that from Owen. It's not a closed thing. It's open to everyone. You're all, simply in virtue of being here, invited to attend. Mark will take care of lightning talks at 5:30 in here. Do you want to tell us about lightning talks?
I've got props, so excuse me while I arrange these. Every day at 5:30 we have lightning talks. Lightning talks are a bunch of 5-minute or less talks. So they're quick talks that are relatively easy to put together. They are a great opportunity for inexperienced speakers to get up on the stage and tell people about something they're excited about. Tell us about your favorite library. Tell us about your favorite hobby. Tell us about something cool that happened to you on holiday. It can be related to Python. It cannot be related to Python. Yeah, basically we just want to hear about what you're passionate about. If you would like to give a lightning talk, we have these 2 buckets that will be on the end of the registration desk straight after this talk. If you are an experienced speaker, you can write your talk description on an index card and put it in the yellow bucket that says everyone else. Should probably have done this in the opposite order. If you consider yourself to be an inexperienced speaker, please put an index card in the new speaker bucket. And then at lunchtime, I will be going through these buckets, reading the descriptions, getting very excited about the lightning talks that we're going to see later, and selecting the ones that get chosen. We put an emphasis on newer speakers for the lightning talks. So if you would really like to actually, even if you are terrified of getting up here and talking to the community about something that you're excited about, please do it. It's the most wonderful experience. And when you've finished, it will sound like this. Thank you so much. And that experience can get quite addictive. And what will happen is, next year, when the call for papers opens up, you will think to yourself, you know, that 5-minute lightning talk, I could talk for half an hour about that. And then you will put in a proposal, and we will continue to have a sustainable community of people who are passionate about things and want to tell the rest of the Python community about it. And if you've written your description and you feel that maybe it doesn't get across the passion that you're really going to communicate to the community, I will be walking around all day with this ridiculous Python scepter. Come and talk to me and pitch your talk to me. Get me excited about it, and then you're just more likely to be selected. So once we've selected the talks, if you're in the Slack, we will invite you into the Lightning Talk channel where you can ask any questions you might have, and we will put up the cards in the order that the speakers will be speaking on the board that's above the 2 buckets. So that will all happen by the end of the lunch break. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you, Mark. What else we have? Tonight is our conference dinner. You need a ticket for this, so we're not selling tickets anymore. If you're planning to come, you need to have a ticket. That will be at 7:30 downstairs in the lower hall this evening. And I just wanted to go back, actually, and if I can control my thing here, I wanted to just say something a little bit more about our Young Coders. Where are we? Our Young Coders Day, yes. This is something that we've been running for many years at PyCon UK. It's part of our efforts to engage with the education establishment and the people they educate, mainly children. So it's really important to us. And what's also important is that it not be something that's separate from everything else that happens at the conference, which is why we bring the young coders up here at the end of the day to show us what they've done. But it also means that you are not just welcome, but you're encouraged to find out what's going on in the Young Coders Day, to see what they're doing, to find out if there's something that you could be involved in there as well. Do we have any teachers in this audience, school teachers in this audience? We do, great. Okay, so if you're a school teacher, that will be especially useful. It's not the only people we hope will be interested in what we're doing. So do go and find the young coders and see what they're doing while they're doing it. Speak to the people who are leading the sessions and find out if you can maybe become involved in a future year, because we want to ensure that this relationship endures. While you're moving around the place, do take care of the young coders. Some of them are much smaller than normal human beings and could easily be knocked over. They don't have the vote, and they have less influence and power, but they should still be treated with respect under the terms of our code of conduct. So please conduct yourselves in an appropriate way around children. And don't forget that once they become teenagers, they will spend 5 or 6 years slamming doors. But for now, they are probably more delicate than you are, so let's take care. And I think we're ready now to move on to the formal program of our day. So I want to introduce our first keynote speaker, for today, Marlene Mangami. Marlene has traveled from Harare in Zimbabwe to be here. Oh, sorry, yes. The Django girls, please, would you like to make your way downstairs for your session?